Hello and welcome. Today I'm going to show you my writing process for writing a chill hip hop instrumental track. I've been digging into my good buddy Steve Beddall's course on how to write, produce, mix, and master lo-fi chill hip hop beats. His course really inspired me to write my own track, so I'm going to show you how I went about doing that. So let's dive in. So this is what my final track looks like. I'll play you some of this and then we'll jump right in. So in this video, we're going to start with an empty project, but I'm going to give you guys the session template for the track I created to hopefully get you guys creating sooner. So I'll link that in the description. So there's actually going to be two versions of this. So there'll be my final mix template, which you can see here includes all the mix plugins that I used. Now there's probably going to be some things in here that you might not have. So because of that, I also included a separate alternative. If you go to Project Alternatives, and you'll see here Logic Instruments. So this version only includes Logic instruments. So for example, the bass, I was using the Rickenbacker bass. Some of you might not have that, so I've just used an electric bass from Logic. Same thing with the guitars as well as the piano. Although the piano I used is free from Spitfire, so you can go ahead and download that for free as well. And then I've only used plugins that are within Logic. So if you don't have any third-party plugins, you can still use this template, and all the sounds are going to be very similar to what I used in my own composition. So again, just follow the link in the description. You can download that for free. Okay, so I'm going to start with a blank software instrument. And the first thing I'm going to do is adjust my tempo. By default, we're at 120 here. I'm going to bring this down, let's say, to 75. Now, since I'm going to be recording a lot of MIDI tracks today, I'm going to go up here to record and make sure I'm in low latency mode. So this will help reduce the amount of latency when I press the keys of what I'm going to be hearing back through my speakers. Now, the first instrument I'm going to start out with for this track is a piano. So I'm just going to rename this track to piano. And I'm going to use the Soft Piano by Spitfire, which is a free piano part of their Labs series. So I'm going to go to Instrument, Spitfire Audio, Labs, and here's my soft piano. So it just has this really cool mellow vibe, which I think is going to work well for this hip hop track. So the first thing we need to do is come up with a chord progression. So the progression I've chosen is 1, flat 3, 5 minor, and then 4. So in the key of D, that's going to be D, F, A minor, and then G. So let's record that in. So there's a 4-bar loop that we can now base the rest of our song around. I'm going to go ahead and do a bit of a quantize on here. Just select everything. Quantize 16th notes, but I'm going to bring the strength down to maybe, let's say 75%. And now, while we're dealing with the piano, I'm actually going to add a little plugin on here. I'm going to add the Isotope Vinyl, which is a free plugin. And this will just kind of give it a bit more of that vintage vibe. You'll hear a little bit of crackles and dust, but I'm actually going to turn that all the way down. And what I'm going to turn up is this warp slider. The plugin's actually bypassed at the moment because of the low latency mode. So if I uncheck that, you'll hear what that sounds like. So you can hear it gives that little warble effect that I like. So I'm going to keep that. I'm going to turn low latency mode back on here. And now the next thing I'm going to add is some drums. So I'll create a new track. I'm going to create a drummer track. And let's go to R&B, hit create. Just going to make this 4 bars long. Let's go to our library and let's see what Benny has to say here. Okay, that's cool. Maybe I'm just going to slide this over a little bit just to simplify things a little bit. And I'm going to bring the swing just down a little bit. Okay, that gives us a nice little beat to get started, and then we might come back to the drums a little bit later to refine those. So next, how about we add some bass? So again, I'm going to add a new software instrument. And for the bass, I'm going to go to Contact. And I'm going to scroll down till I find my Rickenbacker bass. Great. I'm just going to stick with the regular preset. Rename my track. And let's see if we can come up with a bass line for this. Okay, let's try and lay something down here. Okay, I almost got what I wanted to do. Let's just go ahead and fix a few things. I'm going to start by doing a quick little quantize, maybe 80%. Going to change these notes. Okay, I think that's pretty good. Let's have a listen back. Cool. Now I'm going to go back to our drums here. And now that we've got our bass line in, I'm going to go to follow. And you'll see if I zoom in, you're going to see the kick drums are going to line up a little bit better with the bass line. And that sounds like this. Cool. Now let's add a little subtle keys melodies to this. So I'm going to add another software instrument once again. And this time I'm going to go with the electric piano. Stock Logic plugin. Let's go Modern Wurlitzer. Let's add a little bit of drive to this. And how about a little bit of tremolo too? I'm going to sync the rate here and let's go quarter notes. Maybe crank up the intensity a little bit. So you can hear that go back and forth in the speakers there. So for this, I'm just going to do a bit of a broken chord thing. So basically, I'm just going to break up the triads. Except on the F, instead of C, I'm going to keep the D there. So let's put that in. Cool. Now again, a little quantize. That all looks good. Now how about we add a little bit of guitar to this? Now for guitar, I'm not a great guitar player. So what I usually do is load in a MIDI guitar, come up with my ideas that way, and then sometimes I'll try and replace it with a real guitar. But if you are someone who can play guitar, then I suggest you just record that in as audio. So for the guitar, I'm going to go once again to Contact, scroll down, and I'm going to use my Evolution Rock Standard. Now I'm going to first just do some strummed chords. So let me just rename this Guitar Chords, and I want kind of a spacey sound. So let's see what we can find here. That's not bad. I think that's more what I'm looking for. Okay, let's lay that in. Take a look at this. Now these I don't want to quantize because I want that kind of strumming sound. So I'm just going to make sure the final note I'm going to put kind of right on the beat. That's good. And the other two will come slightly early. And here. One thing to mention is on the first one, these notes will get cut off when I have it playing as a loop here. But when the song's normally being played through, then it'll catch these notes. So I'm not really worried about it right now if I don't hear the first chord. So that sounds like this. And then now I'm going to do a second guitar track. So I'm just going to duplicate this one. And I want kind of like a muted, palm muted type thing. So for this, I want a bit of a drier sound. That's still a little wet, but I think this is going to work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of the sustain notes. And I'm going to do half muted. Cool, that's what I want. Okay, let's try putting that in. Okay, that's a little sloppy, but we'll just give that the old quantize, and maybe we'll tighten that up a little bit. Let's see what that sounds like. Cool. There's just one note that stuck out a little bit to me. One of these two. Might just be a little bit loud. Just bring the velocity down on that one. Maybe on this one too. Okay, cool. That's coming together. Now I think we need some sort of melody to go with this. So in sticking with that kind of vintage vibe, I'm going to, let's check out the Mellotron. Maybe let's try the string section. Let's blend that in with this choir we have. Let's try bringing this up an octave. Okay, and let's see if we can come up with the melody. Okay, let's lay that down. Cool. Now we're starting to get somewhere. Now, why don't we look at beefing up our drums a little bit? What I'm going to do is I'm going to, let's look at the drum machine designer. Just going to add in a kick and a clap. Okay, that'll work for the kick. And let's grab a clap. Okay, that'll work for that. Go ahead and close this. And what I'm going to do now is just copy my drummer down to this kit, and you'll see it'll convert it to MIDI. And there we go. I'm going to zoom in on this. Now this is the snare, but it's on a different note. So we're going to have to bring this up. There we go. Start a clap. And then everything else I'm going to get rid of. And then I'll kind of blend these two kits together. Cool. I'm going to get rid of this clap there. Now, one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add some reverb to that clap. So I'm going to do a new bus. Bus 2 is empty. I'm going to throw my trusty Valhalla vintage verb. Keep those settings as is for now. I might change those later. And let's see. Cool. Now, what I might add to this kit, let's go back in here. Let's add a little bit of percussion. I'm going to start with some snaps. Let's try these live feel snaps. Sounds pretty good. Let's throw those in there. Cool. And now I just want to quantize the snaps. I don't want to quantize anything else because those are already timed to the other drums. And the snaps, I'm going to add that same reverb that we did earlier. Actually, I'm going to rename this to Hall Verb. And now let's also add some shakers. So I'm just going to put the shakers on the offbeats. So let's record those. And I'll just quantize those shakers a little bit. And there we go. I might see if there's a little bit of a percussion loop that we can throw in here just to bring up the drums a little bit. So let's go to our Apple loops. Let's go to percussion, genre, hip hop. Let's try a few of these. I think this one will work well, so I'm just going to drag this to the bottom here. Loop this. Bring this up for the rest of the drums, and let's just blend that in a bit. Cool. Now maybe while we're looking at some loops, let's see what else we can find here. Maybe we can use that in here. Let's throw this in. See what that sounds. Okay, that's cool, but it might be a bit much. Let's just cut out. Let's mute that. And then maybe this part could start again here. Let's see what that sounds like. the ending there. Okay, that could be a cool thing just to bring in every now and then. Probably won't have that going throughout the entire song, but just a cool little thing to pop in and out every once in a while. And the last thing I'm hearing is just like a little vocal thing, just like a little hey at the end of this loop. So see if we can find something that might work for that. Okay, I'm just going to grab that hey. And I'm just going to grab the last one and put it at the very end of the track. On this hey, I'm going to add some reverb to that. So there you go. We got a 4-bar loop here, and we can basically base our whole song off of this. So using that 4-bar loop, I created a whole arrangement, worked on my mix, and this is what the end result sounds like. Thanks for watching. I hope that gives you some ideas on how you can start writing your own chill hip-hop instrumentals. Don't forget to download the session files from this track, which I'll link in the description below. So hopefully you can use those as a jumping off point to start creating your own tracks. And if you want to dive even deeper into this genre, make sure you check out Steven's course, which I'll link in the description below. I hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you in the next one.